So this is the template builder, that's how it looks. Over here you have the template layout name, so you create a new name for that template. Then you place it in a folder, and it'll default to whatever folder it's most similar to. And then up here along the top, you've got a create button. You've got some actions like cloning. You can actually click a preview and take a look at what it's going to look like. So it's like edit mode, preview mode. There's a video over here from HubSpot, tutorials, and related tools up at the top where you can actually start changing the style manager, which is basically the CSS, and content settings as well. So those are some of the things. But here's kind of the bulk of the editor here. And basically the editor is made up of these different modules. And it's pretty cool, very well done. And the way there's just a couple things here. So you can add or you can delete these modules. So here's a footer, here's a social sharing one, here's a left column rich text, here's a right column rich text, here's the logo, here's a section header. Again, here's how it looks. So here would be like the logo, here's the section header, here's the two columns, here's the social. So that's kind of how, but you can mix and match these things and change them all you want. So for example, typical idea would be to add a form, right? So instead of saying rich text here, you just mouse over and you go, hey, I want to change that to a form module. So this little mouse over here where it says switch module type, just click on that. And what happens, what opens up is a whole range of different module types. So you have forms, you have social sharing, you have calls to action, you have horizontal menus, custom HTML, Google search, images, logos, just all kinds of stuff. So for this particular case, we want to change that rich text module to a form module. So we just click on the form module, click select, and it changes automatically. So now when we go back to preview mode, boom, there's the form. Pretty cool. So and then you can do that for so you can change any of these modules to whatever module you want. The other interesting thing is that you can split them. So you can see this thing here we can split. So I'm just going to split this section header, for example, and now I have a section header over here and a rich text module over here. You can also add modules within this particular section. So if I wanted to take this section header and add one underneath it, I could add one. It would add another rich text module here. It defaults to rich text, but then obviously you can change it by going to this module chooser. So these modules, there's quite a bit you can do with them there. You might have noticed when you mouse over the module, you get these little icons that pop up. Let's go through these one by one just so we understand them. When you click on the edit module option, it depends on the module, of course, but you get some interesting. You can change the label of the module. You can also put in some default content or default code. So that when there's nothing in that module, you'll have the default show up. So that's what that is. This little tag icon, this is for advanced CSS styling. So for example, if you want to have some CSS apply only to this module, you can do that right here. So you can do custom CSS classes here, or you can actually do inline styling here if you want. When you have more than one module inside a section there, you have a group, and you can actually do click on that little button there and style the CSS for that entire group that way. So that's what that is. And the other cool thing about this is that you can split any of these things, and when you do split them, then you can move them around a little bit. So for example, this module here is kind of taking up half the page. This form is taking up half the width of the page. Typically a form is not that big. You don't want a form to be that big, so you can just drag it over and make it as small as you want. So let's maybe make it that size there, and then you can see how the form size has changed there. So that's kind of nice as well. So that's sort of the kind of the overview of the. Oh yeah, one more thing. You can move these rows up and down. So you can move them up and down here. You can change things around like that. There's a little mover, little thing, little tab here on the left side, and then you can add new rows here. So you can just add another row, rich text. I want to change that to an image, and I want to split it. No problem, right? So there's lots of interesting ways that you can create different templates for whatever you want to do. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy.